Ah.
McMole, I need you to have a little more energy. You are on the Valley Flying channel today, brother.
All my neighbors are probably wondering what the hell's going on.
Valley Flying.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? Valley Flying here. I am back, and I am joined by my brother, McMole. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm psyched up now. Are you psyched up?
I'm psyched up. I hope you're ready to rumble, my friend. All right, so what? You know what we're talking about today? You know what we're talking about today?
What are we talking about today?
We are talking about the 5 tips for new players. Now, I know you're a veteran in many other games, but I know your account is relatively new for Marvel Strike Force. So I wanted to have you on, go through these 5 tips, and you give me your thoughts on these, all right?
Okay.
All right, so the first tip I have for new players is to know your game basics. And what I mean by that is knowing what AoEs are, what chain attacks are, adjacency attacks, how to place your teams, what each of these status effects do. And I think that's important because I didn't know a lot of stuff till months in. You guys could see where I did those videos. I didn't do those videos till I knew that stuff. So it was months before I knew some of this stuff. So learn all that stuff. As a new player, I think it's going to make the game much more fun for you. What do you think of that tip?
Yeah, so get to know like how the mechanics of your characters and their abilities work. What if something's chaining, if something is going to affect adjacent allies, or like area effect attacks, how they're going to work, if they'll hit like just like one adjacent enemy or enemies from 2 spaces away, because that's a big difference. Like I know Cable, his special affects it based on whether he has charge. There's kind of things that affect certain adjacent enemies or not. So get to know the mechanics, the fine-tuned mechanics of each character and their abilities. You'll figure that out through like practicing through Blitz and Arena, Raids, and everything else.
And the new PvP mode. And the new PvP mode.
Yeah. The new PvP mode, can't forget that. But yeah, you'll get plenty of practice in. You'll be able to figure out a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, and in addition to practice, if you want to shorten that time frame, shameless plug, guys. I did a lot of videos on this. If you go to the channel description, there's like a playlist for new players. You can go there. But another good resource, guys, msf.gg. They got so much stuff on there about status effects, things like that, and the kits for all of these characters. So really recommend them. Next tip I want to give for new players, and you let me know if this one is helpful. This is gonna be my like easy one because pretty much every top list is gonna recommend something like this, but find a good alliance. But I do recommend it because it's very important.
Yeah, it is incredibly important. I mean, very early on when I started coming back to Marvel Strike Force, I had a viewer reach out to me and was like, hey, I've got some spots open in my guild. We're doing full completions of U6. Do you want in? And I was like, sure, absolutely. That got me a huge head start on raid credits, on ability materials. And then they were doing pretty well in war, so I was able to get a nice stockpile of war currency, which is a big deal, let me tell you. There's with Sif and Carnage and like a lot of gear that you're gonna need to get through that war store. It's very important to get into a solid guild that's gonna get you very good raid rewards, very good alliance war rewards. It's just very important. It's gonna help you really get the ball rolling a whole lot faster on the account.
And one thing I do recommend for that is to go to Discord. I have a Discord. The link is down below. There's the main MSF Discord. A lot of good stuff there. But I think it's very important to find an alliance that matches with your level of play. Because I know you're a hardcore player, and I think you would be very upset if you're in a guild with casual players. And then on the flip side, if you were a casual player and these guys are, oh my goodness, these guys are crazy and spending all kinds of money. So finding an alliance that really matches what you want out of the game and your play style, I think is also important in determining what is a good alliance for everybody.
Yeah, because you don't want to get burnt out by getting stuck in with a guild that's too much for you. That's a very important thing. If you're trying to play it casually, don't go for U7 100% guild. That's just gonna cause you to burn out so quickly.
Unless you're like an
just
early
gonna-
on whale and now you're like a retired whale that just, or I guess Kraken. You'd have to get Kraken to be one of those top guilds that could pretty much auto you 7. But
Yeah.
all right. Next tip. When you're building your roster, like when you're farming characters, farming gear, you know, building up their levels, focus on building one team at a time. Focus your resources. Resource management is one of the big things in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, so my turn for a shameless self-promotion here because, hey, why not?
Here we go.
Yeah, one of the first videos I did on my new channel, Strike Force, is talking about like defenders. Like they're a great team for new players to work with because you can get the ball rolling through campaigns. You get a solid blitz team. They'll do okay in raids, not really that good in arena, but they're going to allow you to kind of start focusing on some other teams like Guardians of the Galaxy, Sinister Six. So focusing on one team at a time is the best idea there. And if you try to spread yourself thin, work on too many teams at once, you're going to find yourself strapped to resources. You're not going to have a lot of gold. You're gonna end up having no good team for you.
Yeah. So yeah, and then, you know, maybe if you're like a player that spends a lot of cores and stuff and have extra stuff, that's when you start working on these teams for this next phase that I'm going to talk about when you're planning your roster. You got to kind of have an idea of your next team and the team after that you're going for. There's a couple of different modes that you want to focus on building these teams for. Raids that require a certain mix of characters. Arena is going to require a different mix of characters because these are characters that needs a little more bursting damage, whereas Raid is a little more sustainability, and Blitz, which is just good combinations of characters. So planning your teams and knowing what you could do with your extra resources with planning will help you be more efficient in the long term.
Yeah, that's very important. I got nothing else.
Oh, okay.
Awkward silence. We'll keep that in.
I'm gonna edit that in. Yes. And my last tip, and I'm laughing, but this is a very serious one. I don't see a lot of other people talk about this kind of stuff, but set realistic expectations. If you are starting this game now, Marvel Strike Force now, this game's been out for about 2 years, over 2 years. You're at a little bit of a time disadvantage, and people in these kind of games, they're rewarded for the time and their consistency in the game. Consistency is a very, very big thing in games like this. And, you know, you're not going to catch up unless you spend ungodly amounts of money. So I think a big thing with this part of your expectation is set some goals for yourself. What you want. If you're just playing casually, you want to have fun. If you like building your roster, if you like competing with other people, that's all cool stuff, you know, but you're not going to be able to get to the top unless you spend a lot of money plus putting in a bunch of time that people have. What do you think of this? I know this is not mentioned too much in other videos about top things you should do.
It's definitely another good idea. Let's be real here. If you're starting out brand new, trying to chase the arena meta is really difficult to do, and you have to whale out to do it. So don't try to be like #1 in your arena shard like right away, because you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna burn out, and yeah, unless you're willing to spend out a lot of money, that's gonna be a very hard to achieve goal. Like, I mean, everyone in my arena shard up top, like they have Asgardians, and they had to whale to get Asgardians. So don't feel like you have to chase the meta. That's very important. That's something in every kind of resource collection game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people go in with these expectations, like I want to be on top, and you know they just start spending and don't really think about how much they have to spend to get on top. Whereas there's other aspects of this game that can be fun without being the top out of an arena or like the raid leaderboards or something like that. But you can still have fun, and I think that's what realistic expectation. I think that's important. All right, do you have any other tips before we go? Any other tips for new players that could benefit them?
Yes. Don't chase red stars. That's a very bad idea.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are gonna go for that. That is a big mistake. If trying to whale on red stars, because depending on how your luck is, you could just throw money straight down the drain.
Yeah, that's just the thing.
Red stars are risky.
Yeah, just kind of collect as many as you can throughout the game, just from natural progress of the game. through time, theoretically, all your characters should be at least like 4 red stars, but you know, it is what it is. Don't. You don't need to wail out on red stars. All right, before you go, McMole, tell everybody where they can find you.
You guys can find me over on YouTube. Check out McMole2. I've also got the channel that I'm doing Marvel Strike Force content on. It's just called MM2. There's links to them. You can also find me on Twitch, even though I haven't streamed anything yet. I've got that channel set up. So I've got to start streaming stuff on there. But you know how it is.
I do know how it is,
Yeah.
and I want to thank you once again for being on. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe to the channel, smash on the like button, join the notification squad, ring that bell. At least 4 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel, and you get notified as soon as I put those up if you click that notification bell. So do it, guys, and check out some of the other links down below. You can find McMole's links, all that stuff. You can find some Valley merch and some other good stuff. So look at that, and I will see you guys next time. I'm on social media as well. Before you go, McMole, give me a Hulk fist bump. Put that fist up to the screen. Put it up there. Valley flying out.